What about the European Union? Does European Union support sustainable development and Agenda 2030? For the last 20 years, sustainable development has been one of the fundamental objectives of the European Union. Sustainable development was included in the Treaty of Amsterdam as an overarching objective of the European policies. The Treaty of European Union set out the EU vision for a sustainable development of Europe based on a balanced economic growth, a highly competitive social market economy, aiming at full employment and social progress, and a high level of protection of the environment. Sustainable development has been mainstreamed into European Union policies and legislation through the EU Sustainable Development Strategy, the EU 2020 Strategy, and through the EU's Better Regulation Agenda. The European Union was instrumental in the shaping the Global 2030 Agenda. The agenda is fully consistent with Europe's vision and has now become the world's blueprint for global sustainable development. The European Union and its member states face the greatest challenges on goals related to climate, biodiversity, and circular economy, as well as achieving the convergence in living standards, both within each country as well as across countries and regions. From a global perspective, European countries lead globally on sustainable development goals accomplishment, making the EU a global leader in Agenda 2030 achievement. The next steps in Agenda 2030 implementation at the European Union level were set in January 2019, where the European Commission released a reflection paper on sustainable development goals entitled Towards a Sustainable Europe in 2030, which puts forward 3 scenarios for the future. The most ambitious scenario proposes a strategic framework to guide all actions of the European Union and the member states by defining specific SDG implementation targets, proposing concrete deliverables for 2030, and establishing a mechanism of reporting and monitoring SDG progress. The second scenario is based on a mainstreaming approach that would ensure the integration by the Commission of the SDG in sectoral policies with most European Union added value without enforcing member states' action. The third scenario prioritizes the European external action while ensuring continued improvements at the European level.